public is in an uproar and they want answers. Donald Trump gave the public, his constituents, his MAGA allegiance. Did he do them dirty? Yes, did Donald Trump backdoor the MAGA allegiance? They on his top. They on his top though, man. And knowing what we know about those attempts, the assassination attempts, coupled with the protests last weekend. I was in the middle of one of those protests. I was driving. I had no idea. I just wasn't in tune to there was going to be protesters. But there were a lot of people out there where I was at. I was just going to get my car washed. There were a massive amount of people on a major road. It was orderly. I mean, we can get by, but it was out there. I mean, he made that move with the pause early this week with the tariffs, and he is not backing down with these tariffs with China. They are going to war economically. Let's hope that's all they do. But still, the blowback from these tariffs hikes. Who's going to pay? You know who's going to pay? Us. So we have to play the waiting game. But we're going to get the place. I mean, we're going to get the costs handed down to us. We're definitely going to get the costs. The major part of that, basically the taxpayers and the citizens, people who are already on a pretty strict budget. Now we gotta go through the same thing again. See, it's always something. First it was the supply chain, pre-COVID. Then COVID hit, coupled with the supply chain slowdown. Then the economy is booming. Inflation comes. You're paying egg prices. You're paying, ridiculous amount for eggs. And that's just how it goes. So now, with these tariffs, if you're going to buy an automobile, you're going to pay an enormous amount. And this is how the government operates. It's tit for tat. It's flexing. It's Trump is so boisterous, and so he says things with such zeal and such slickness that it's crazy, but he'll have you believing in anything. But the MAGA people are very, very worried. They're nervous. And I don't blame them. That pause like he did early in the week, as I said earlier, all of a sudden, boom, it's a pause late in the day. The markets was crashing out. They were dipping, they were low, they were dipping. And then, boom, once he announced that pause in the tariffs, it shot up for the duration of the, into the bell, you know what I'm saying? So, should we investigate that? Should we be concerned about inside trading on that one? Can we trust the Donald not to have alerted some of his good buddies and people he might be in debt to you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying everything's a racket. Everything's a racket. We're pawns on the chessboard, ladies and gentlemen. We just got to be able to navigate and move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Don't take things for granted. We can't get caught lacking out here too. So we got to make sure we have something, a rainy day, situation going on in our own lives, respectfully. We get caught out here, holding out, what? You feel me? So it's a lot of rhetoric. It's a lot of flexing. Like I said, it's a lot of testosterone, being slung. But it don't work. So I don't know. But we already know who's going to pay for it in the end. Who's going to affect the most. So this is a time, man, we even more, we might have to be resourceful and use our resourceful skills. It's not a time to be fly. It's a time to be buckled down. It's about to, you know what I'm saying? Something you might have to temper it. You know what I mean? Or take advantage of some deals they got out here. I'm sure they're going to have deals, but don't get scammed. Don't get scammed. Read the fine print. Don't get boxed in to something you'll never be able to get out of. So, just the way it is. Meanwhile, on another note, Math HOFFA, the infamous Math HOFFA, and he is infamous for a reason. Math HOFFA had a self-reflecting reaction to a video that he did regarding his My Expert Opinion podcast and his situation right now as far as financials. And he's basically doing an Adam 21. And he's basically saying that his overhead is busted right now. Due to some shady moves through a subleasing deal and a shiesty landlord, which I understand people want to get into the business world and they think that it's just a 1, 2, 3 type of thing. Yeah, it's like that when you're able to have influence and you got it together. You know what I'm saying? But don't ever think you're not going to pay. And don't, like I said, don't box yourself into something that you don't know about. You subleasing, you sure you got the real contract? You don't have the real contract at hand. You don't see what's going on. Then you kind of like, you're just out there. So I can see where he got caught up in that. But if you're pulling in, you got the machine behind you on your broadcast and your podcast and all that. You know what I mean? You probably you're independent, but someone's definitely, you got put on by somebody in a position to do this. And you got your followers were over 1 million followers, and your views are dropped. People are saying that, the Fat Joe episode and his uses of verbiage towards the FBAs, and it wasn't pleasant. You were wrong, Fat Joe. You were wrong. You do what you have to do, and you know what I'm saying, I support you, but I have supported you. I don't support this. I'm just saying you were wrong on that one. You haven't apologized. You haven't addressed it. So I might have missed it, but I don't know. I don't know if you made an apology or you just standing your ground. You sounded that day, you were very standing on business on that. So I guess you're gonna hold that down, and it is what it is. But Getting back to Math Hoffa. So anyway, Math Hoffa is calling broke. He's screaming broke right now. He ain't got no money to go on with the keeping the shop, the barber shop, and all that. And so the podcast, that machine is in a pause right now, basically. Now, is this a rollout? The first time I saw this, I was like, oh, this is another rollout. Math is chilling. He's out here doing this thing, marketing. This is all part of a new rollout, and it could be. But he put his business out there like that, and I was like, man, maybe is he even tripping? Why would you disclose? It looks sloppy, to say the least. It's sloppy, and that's all I'll say. I'm not gonna dig in, but it's sloppy, bro. It's sloppy. Don't look good. So I hope you put some better people around you, but I don't think you want, you had good people around you when the show was on and popping like that, and you got pushed over to that million. You touched that mill. You're at that mill now. So you got that plaque. It's nothing to try to get a studio set up or whatever. In this podcast thing, this YouTube thing, it's so easy to do that. That just takes concentration and just prioritizing. But as far as this podcast, I still check it out. I still, catch little things. I caught the Rollo one. I thought the RFK Jr. That was an interesting one. But Matthew, you played yourself to me. Definitely the Fat Joe joint, and then the Van Lathan episode where you was just too busy trying to one up them. It's like y'all both saying some nice things regarding Kanye's slavery thing and all that. But I just thought that you were a little bit too much devil advocating. And devil advocating to the point where it was just all about you. It was like, okay, let me, he thinks this is a smart guy. And then you get out the chair and go around, I'm like, son bugging. I'm like, he's bugging out, bro. He's feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I looked at you kind of sideways. But it is what it is. I still peeped your game and I still checked you out. You had these guys to see what y'all was talking about. Then y'all start streaming and all that. And I was like, yo, what is this, man? But, I was still checking it out then. I was like, okay, is this a interview or is this just a lounge? Or we just watching you stream and all that? So he was like all over the place. So it is what it is, bro. Good luck. Go to Jersey. Get your studio. Bounce back. Peace.